Hi everyone, my name is Shambhavi and I want to show you how to use a mala to do a practice called japa. Japa is the repetition of mantra. So this is a mala and it's a typical Indian style mala. It has 108 beads and in between each bead is a little knot. If you're used to the Buddhist malas, then sometimes those don't have knots, and they also sometimes have extra spacer beads. But in the Indian tradition that I'm a part of, we use 108 bead knotted mala with no spacers. And then there is the 109th bead, which is right here, and that's called the Guru bead or Mount Meru. It represents the essence nature of reality. That's why we call it the Guru or the Mount Meru. On top of that is simply a closure bead. That's not used for counting japa. So when we do mantra japa, we count holding the mala in our right hand always, and we recite one mantra for each bead. This is how it's done. First of all, you want to put your thumb finger and your ring finger together like this. And you'll see that it makes a little groove here. So you're just going to rest the mala in that groove, and then your pinky finger and your index finger don't do anything, they're just kind of free. And you put your middle finger on the first bead after Mount Meru or Guru bead. And that's going to be your first mantra. So for instance, if I'm saying Om Namah Shivaya, that's going to be 1. And then when I want to say my next mantra, I move the next bead toward me. Toward my body and say the mantra again, and then I move the third bead over the groove, just using that groove as a little track to run the mala. It's very, very easy. This happens to be a crystal mala made out of what's called in India spatic crystal. You can buy these online. They're very good for all different kinds of mantras, especially purification mantras and Devi mantras. So as you're turning, you just keep moving the beads toward you with your middle finger going over that trough formed by your thumb and your ring finger. Now you don't let the mala just dangle in space while you're doing this. So there are two ways to hold the mala in the correct position. Remembering that you're always doing it with your right hand. You can take your left hand and have the mala rest at about heart level or maybe at the base of your sternum but no lower, and then you are moving the beads like this, and the mala is not dangling lower than the base of your sternum. That is a traditional instruction, that you don't want the mala dangling lower than that. Now an even more traditional way to hold your mala is using a mala bag. This particular mala bag is made of 100% silk. I had it made in Varanasi, a city in north central India. And what you would do in this case is you would put the mala into the bag and find your first bead after Mount Meru or Guru bead. Then you put your whole hand in the bag and you sit upright and you move the beads just as I showed you inside the bag. So the reason for this is not just the convenience of not having to hold your hand up like this, but the silk actually helps to retain the spiritual vibration or the mantric vibration that you create by doing mantra japa many, many thousands of times over time, hopefully every day. So the other thing I want to show you is what happens if you're a very, very good practitioner and you do your 108 mantra repetitions and you get to the end of the mala. Well, because this is the Guru bead, you're not going to step over it. You would not be stepping over your Guru. You're actually turning the mala around in your hand and then pulling back toward your body, going in the reverse direction. So let me show you that again. You've come to the end, you've done your 108, and you think to yourself, oh, this is wonderful, I'm going to do more. So you just turn the beads around and then continue on in exactly the same way, going back in the other direction so that you don't have to step on your Guru bead. Mantra japa is best if it's done every single day at the same time, and doing mantra every day at the same time is much more important than how many mantras you do. Of course, some of us like to do lots of mantras every day, but if you can't do lots of mantras every day, try to do 108 every day. I hope that this little video gets you on the road to doing mantra japa. There are other ways that malas are used in Buddhist traditions and other ways in other Hindu lineages, but this is how I learned from my teachers, and I hope that it benefits you. Jai Ma.